Now you are on to lesson 25, share with others. In the previous lesson, I talked about writing and filming reviews. Well, here's your chance to share it with other people if you want to. Sharing is not required to help you remember what you read, but it will be a shame if you don't, because of the many benefits sharing has. I mentioned also in the previous lesson. By sharing with others, you can create discussions and see how others view the same book that you've read. And if they haven't read it, then it's a chance for you to help them understand why the book was good or bad for you. Then they can make their own judgment. And also, just to give you a little bit of background about myself, one of the reasons why I started this course was for everyone out there. I really wanted to create a virus of lifelong learning. I want to be able to spread this virus around the whole world. And I know that's a huge dream. It's one of the best ways I imagine at going about this. And one of the best ways to do that is through word of mouth. By taking this course and sharing what you learn, either through this course or through what you read, with the circle of friends you have, or acquaintances, or family, coworkers, then it is possible that those people will also take up the reading habit. The more people that take up the nonfiction reading habit, the better the world will be. I know how crazy that might sound, but it's true. And how, might you ask? How will the world become better? Well, look at yourself right now. Whatever part of your journey you are on right now, at this moment, you are improving yourself. You are becoming a better person in all aspects of your life because of the way you are improving yourself. Now imagine if other people started to do the same thing. If other people started to take up the reins of lifelong learning. Imagine if everyone that you came in contact with became a lifelong learner. Now, I know that that's not likely to happen, that everyone will take up the reins of lifelong learning, but even if 10% of the people did, what sort of impact do you think that would have? I can definitely tell you that this will have a big impact, because these people that are learning and growing will go out there and make a big difference in the other people's lives around them. No doubt in my mind that this will be a very big beneficial to planet Earth, a very big benefit to planet Earth. So, by sharing with other people, you're going to be sharing these great tools people have really kind of neglected. If you try to encourage people to take on nonfiction reading, this is going to be a really good benefit. So please definitely do it. And to be honest, not everyone is going to take up the mantle of a lifelong learner. If that were the case, we would actually already be living in a utopia. But a utopia is almost kind of unrealistic because, people fight, people argue. That's a natural thing for us as humans. And if we don't fight or argue, then we kind of don't really make progress. But what we can do is try to strive to make the world a better place. We can try to strive to make the world a utopia by helping each other to learn and grow. So let's keep on doing this. And also, by telling people about this online course, you'd be helping them out, and you'd also be helping me out. So definitely appreciate you by spreading what you learn in this course over to other people so that they can take it and apply it. But let's be realistic here. We have to be realistic, really. utopias are very rare. And if there is such a thing, then it exists in smaller communities. It will be a very difficult thing to make a utopia out of the whole world. But we can strive for that. That's the key. We can strive for that. And we can get close to it. And we can keep on working towards it and make the future a better place for our future generations, our children and our grandchildren, and so on, right? Regardless of how many people start their lifelong learning journey, you and I need to take responsibility for spreading this virus of the 6 principles of lifelong learning as far as we can. The more knowledge people are taking in, the more understanding they usually are. And it really does, of course, depend on the topic, right? And if the person is applying what they learn, that's a big key there. Applying is one of the most important aspects. So if these people are becoming more understanding, the more understanding people are, the more peaceful they are. We can create a better world by helping each other to learn for life. So this is my primary reason why I encourage you to share what you read with others, share this course with others, recommend people to take this course, and recommend books to them that you're reading, right? This is not just about this course. It is about you. It is about the people around you. It's about the books that you're reading. And you share those books, you better hope that that it will make a big difference in the people's lives that you share it with. I've got 2 great ways to help you remember what you read by surrounding yourself with like-minded people. And of course, sharing what you learn. That is one of the purpose of this particular lesson, is sharing. So here are 2 particular ways that you can share with others online and in person. So one is create an Instagram account about what you're reading. Now, of course, this is what I've been doing. This is what many people have been doing, is creating Instagram accounts, and they share all about the books they read. And yes, maybe there are tons of people out there doing that, but that does not mean that you can't do it too. And that doesn't mean that you won't get a bigger following. Just because there are a lot of people doing it doesn't mean that you can't. And it doesn't mean that you won't make a big impact. Each and every single follower you have, you can make an impact in. So it doesn't matter whether you have 1 follower or 50,000 followers. Every single person you can make a big impact on by suggesting great books, even saying, hey, you better stay away from this book because it sucked. And then that person will be like, okay, I'm not going to read it. Right? So one of the easiest and free ways, let's talk about the Instagram accounts, okay? To share what you have read is through Instagram. Start an Instagram account based around nonfiction books you read. It's what I call nonfiction bookstagram. If you're not familiar with that, bookstagram, #bookstagram, has tons and tons of people posting all about books. And Bookstagram is more of a general, people post about any sort of book, whether it's fiction or nonfiction. And of course, if you put the nonfiction behind or before Bookstagram, then it becomes, all about nonfiction books. So read the hashtag if you want to. And it may sound strange to you to do this. You might think that, what the heck does creating an Instagram account have to do with remembering what I read? But it really does help, honestly. There are several other people posting about books on their profile, and you can get great recommendations from other people. I've found out so many great books from people, and also I've been able to make so many great connections. So if you do this, you will be able to build up great connections, and you can also check out hashtag like Power of Books community, and that is a community that I'm involved in. It's a hashtag, of course, but anyone who posts with that hashtag can become part of that community, and we engage with each other, comment on each other's posts. We share each other's posts sometimes. Sometimes we do collaborations. So Instagram is a very exciting place to be for an avid reader of nonfiction and fiction books, for that matter. So if it weren't for Instagram, honestly, this course might not even exist. Like I said earlier in this course, if it weren't for the first nonfiction book that I read, Second Chance by Robert Kiyosaki, this course probably wouldn't exist either. So I give my gratitude to both Robert Kiyosaki and Instagram for really encouraging me to build something like this. So I hope that you also have something that you can use to your advantage, use to your focus, such as a particular book or Instagram, to help motivate you to progress. If you want to use your personal account on Instagram, realize that mixing your personal account with the stuff that you read may not be a good idea. So I recommend creating a separate one for purposes of just book content. That way you separate your accounts. The focus on this account will be all about reading, all about books. I'm just saying it's nice to have similar things in a similar place. It's what we call niching down. So if you are posting a bunch of personal photos about like what you ate and what your child is doing, and then all of a sudden you start posting about book photos and stuff like that, people might get confused. And those of you who are those people who are following you for the food and the family photos might be like, I don't care about that book stuff. And those people that are following you for the book stuff might be like, I don't care about the food that you eat, right? So that's why I say niche down, focus on one thing for one account. One of the main purposes of having this Instagram account that you will create based around books is to attract people with similar interests in reading nonfiction books. And if you are even niching down to a particular type of book, like let's say you want to focus on marketing and business strategies, and you read only books about marketing and business strategies, then the people who want to read about marketing and business strategies will come to you. That is the people that are already around you. Maybe people already around you have an interest in that, or maybe people that you have not even met, living all around the world. By creating this group of online people invested in lifelong learning and following them and them following you, you guys can have a very good conversation, very good recommendations, and this will have a profound impact on your ability to improve yourself. Each person has a different experience, and therefore their perceptions and tastes in books might be a little bit different from you. They might be similar. These experiences and perceptions will give you an insight you may have overlooked. And of course, it will help you out, right? One of the other main purposes of having an Instagram account based around books is the fact that you will be held accountable. Instagram is very sneaky like that. They make people want to post on their Instagram account, whether it's in their feed or in their story or do a live. This can be very addicting, but you can use this addiction to your advantage. As long as you are aware of how much time you're actually spending on social media and what you're actually doing while you're there, this will be the key to your success with using this social media account. So you spend maybe it's best to spend less than an hour per day or around that amount searching for books, engaging with people, and posting about what you want to post about. Be aware of what you're scrolling through, what you're engaging with, and it's not going to harm you, and it's also not going to be a waste of time. As long as you're aware, you have to be aware. Otherwise, it may very well be a waste. If you're worried about that, you could even set a timer or download an app which blocks your account after a certain amount of time, or maybe past 8 p.m. you cannot use your phone anymore. As long as you set rules and guidelines and follow those to the T, you will be safe. When you share value with other people, it is one of the most wonderful things ever. And in turn, because you want to share that value, reading becomes much more addicting to you. And when you want to post more on your profile, that means that you're going to be focusing more on reading, right? Although I'm definitely a crazy fanatic about having an Instagram account all about books, and could probably write a whole book about it, I will only include one last benefit of an Instagram account about nonfiction books. But if you have any other questions, you can feel free and ask me directly, because then we can talk about it in maybe a little bit deeper format. If you build up a following of tens of thousands following your account, you can also get book promotions from authors and publishers. This is awesome. Wouldn't that be a great thing to have? I mean, it wouldn't be the main reason why you have an account, but surely it's a positive for all the people involved, you, the author, publisher, and your audience. And you can also get to read books that you may not have read before, may not have chosen to read. But I also want to forewarn you to make sure to have a filter. Make sure to filter the messages that you get from authors and publishers. What I mean by this is don't accept every single book an author or a publisher wants to send you. Here are a few things that you can do before you accept a book. Ask the author or publisher what the book is about before accepting it. See that it aligns with you and your followers. Make sure it aligns with your big goal. If it's not really aligning, and maybe you think it's not really going to make your followers excited, mainly it's about you, right? For this aspect, because it's the book that you are going to be reading. But yeah, focus on this and make sure it aligns. If it doesn't align with you or your followers' needs, then kindly decline the offer, explaining why. The author may give you additional reasons why you should read their book. If eventually their descriptions align with your big goal, then maybe you can accept the book. But please, please, please don't accept the book if it really doesn't make sense for you to read it. And before accepting the book, research about the credibility of the author. See what kinds of experiences he or she has. 4, if you do end up accepting the offer, be sure to let the author or publisher know about the approximate schedule when you will be reading and posting their book. Number 5, be clear about any social media handles or hashtags that you should be using. 6, keep the author or publisher updated about your progress and tag them in any posts or stories you end up sharing. And 7, keep building a relationship with the authors or publishers you interact with, because you never know what might come of those relationships in the future. It's a give type of situation. And also, if you're going to be doing paid promotions, make sure that that is clear. What is your price per post, per story, per whatever it may be that you're doing, per blog post? Maybe you can charge for that, right? So decide on that before you talk with authors and publishers. That way, when they message you and say, hey, I have this book, you can then send them a message back and say, oh, here's my packages. Check these out. And whichever one works for you, let me know, and then we can get you set up. So if you do have any other questions about that, please do let me know, because this lesson is not about how to make money through book promotions. But if it does interest you, please let me know, and then we can talk more about it. But regardless of whether it's paid or not, by building up a relationship with the author or publisher, you're helping them with their book. You may have future opportunities to interact with them, and who knows, they may be able to help you out in the future, either with giving you their next book or something even bigger, like helping you publish your own book. They could give you advice. They could become your mentor. There are so many different great things that come out of a relationship with an author. Build up that relationship. Use it to your advantage. Help them out. They will help you. It's a huge benefit just from building up these relationships. And it's also a huge benefit posting weekly on your Instagram account. These are the types of opportunities you are really looking for. All right, and this next part of the lesson is about getting involved in a book club or creating one. Being involved in a book club, believe it or not, makes a huge difference in remembering what you read. The sense of community, exchanging of ideas, different and sometimes conflicting ideas and beliefs, yet community of people who want to learn from each other regardless of their beliefs. Now, that description above is what I call a good book club to be part of. Creating a culture of lifelong learners who want to challenge each other and help each other improve is something you cannot get anywhere else except for a book club or something similar. Again, it's just like creating the Instagram account. This is not a requirement, but for sure, scientifically proven, surrounding yourself with people who are going to challenge you, agree or disagree with you, and help you will make a positive impact in your life and your work. Depending on where you live, it may be easy or maybe hard to find a nonfiction book club. You can search online, on Instagram, ask your friends, but if you don't find a book club through any of those sources, I encourage you to create one for yourself. Even creating one online could be an option for you, right? Creating a nonfiction book club may sound like a big task, but you don't need to make it complicated. Keep it simple. All you really need to do is find at least 3 or 4, maybe 5 people who initially are interested in reading, growing, debating ideas, and getting together at a local cafe or maybe even someone's house. That's really all you need to do. In 2019, I started a book club called book brewers in Surabaya, along with several other Toastmasters members, and it has been one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. It's been a life-changing experience because I have met several other lifelong learners who are either way ahead of me in ability on whether it's their reading ability or other aspects of their life. And it's just great to be able to know these types of people. There are also people who are just beginning their lifelong learning journey. Both people who have been in their lifelong learning journey for quite a while and those who are just beginning have their own qualities. Those ahead can challenge and help you with your own ideas, and those just beginning can be an opportunity for you to teach them about some of the lessons you've learned in your short life or your longer life, however old you may be. You'll be amazed at the difference joining a book club or maybe even building one of your own will make in your life. So I definitely encourage you to do this. And if you do end up creating a book club of your own, that's also another way to build up your community creation skills, your leadership skills, right? I heard Ty Lopez say once in one of his videos that you should divide the groups of people you hang out with or maybe at your book club into 33% blocks. 33% of the people in your group will have about 10 years more experience than you. It doesn't have to be an exact science, but basically they should be a lot more experienced than you and maybe very successful at what they do. And then 33% of those people will be at about the same level as you. And then 33% of the people will be a little bit less experienced than you. The 33% at the top can teach you what they know and challenge you with tasks or knowledge that you may not be aware of. The 33% that is about equal to you may have different approaches to the same problem that you're trying to solve. You can still learn from each other and help each other grow to solve your problems together as well. And the last 33% are the people that you can personally help with your more experienced knowledge. By helping the last 33%, you actually learn a whole lot because you are teaching what you already know. Teaching solidifies the knowledge in your brain. And who knows, that person, even though they may have a little bit less experience than you, they still may know something you do not. So it is very important for you to also listen to those people, listen to the people about the same as you, and listen to those people with a lot more experience than you. You can definitely use all of those aspects. And this is not just for a book club, it's also how you can maybe structure your network as well. Try to find a balance in the friends you spend the most time with. I mention this because you want to try have a similar structure in both your book club and your personal life. If you find the club is becoming imbalanced, people may get bored and leave the group. Or some other people might come up with a better place to be, right? So in that case, you should try and find additional members who can balance out the imbalance. Therefore, having a book club is like raising a growing puppy. If you treat it the right way and feed it the right things, it will grow up to be a kind and healthy puppy. If it's treated poorly and doesn't have enough to eat, it will grow up to be vicious and unhealthy and maybe die sooner than expected. Of course, not just a little food to eat, but also if you treat it, badly, right? Aggressively. So if you do end up building your own book club, I also recommend setting some ground rules right off the bat. So here's some basic membership rules. You can always adapt these if you do end up setting up your own group. Number one, attend 1 out of 6 meetings in person or digitally to stay a member. 2, once a month, submit your thoughts about the current book of choice. To remain a member, you must submit the short reflection of what you have read so far at least once in 3 months. Admission, 1. In order to become a member, you must come twice to the meeting and agree with the rules. Discussion rules. 1. Let a member or guest finish their thought before stating or asking yours. 2. Respect each other's ideas even if you don't agree. You can help the other person see it your way, but don't dominate the group discussion. 3. Be open to other members' styles and interests. Realize that everyone is on a different level of their lifelong learning path, and that each person's learning style and interests may be completely different from your own. There is no one correct way to learn or one topic to be interested in. Values. Number 1, we value discipline in attempting to read the chosen book, even if you don't attend. 2, we value both the sense of companionship and the hunger for learning. And like I said before, these are just some basic guidelines, and you can always adapt these and change these if need be. Another great thing about creating your own book club or getting involved in one, if you can meet more people that you may have never met before. This is a great opportunity, right? To meet more people. Those people have a connection with you because you both read. No matter how different the other aspects of your life is, you have at least one thing in common, and that's books. You all may come from different backgrounds and expertise as well, which means you can learn a great deal about their life and profession. In turn, the people you meet may be able to help connect each other with great professional opportunities and friendships. Do I need to tell you how important making new connections is? Probably not. Even if you already know, I recommend continuing to read more books about communication and networking and get yourself out there and make a book club or join one. Now, if you're up for it, I'd like you to create an Instagram account specifically for the purpose of books. Non-fiction books, preferably. But yes, whatever types of books you want. If you do not have one already, please try to make one. At least try. If you do end up creating an account, please let me know beforehand or after you create it, and I can help you with any of the details that you need. Also, I will definitely follow you as I want to see your progress firsthand. Go ahead and contact me through matt@bookmatic.com if you end up creating an account. That way we can chat about it and I can help you out the best as I possibly can. Secondly, I'd also like to know if you end up getting involved in a nonfiction book club or starting one of your own. Feel free to ask me any questions about how to do so. I've also included the rules for accepting a book from a publisher or author and my book club membership rules in a downloadable PDF. So check those out. And if you have any other questions, just let me know. Otherwise, move on to the next lesson.